Hello, and welcome to Top of the Line. I'm Nick Lynch.
And I'm Noah Muller.
And today we are going to be talking about what happened during Week 14 in the NFL, including blowouts, tight division races, and our picks for Game of the Week. So let's get started. So Noah, on Monday Night Football, the Seattle Seahawks defeat the Philadelphia Eagles in a very surprising victory. Drew Lock to Jackson Smith-Njigba on the final drive of the game to take the Seahawks 92 yards down the field.
I should say, no matter how bad they lost this week, the Eagles are not winning that division. It is the Cowboys' division for the taking. The Cowboys may be inconsistent, but I mean, the Eagles are just playing horrible at this point. I don't care who they face. They faced, who have they lost to in the past 3 weeks? I know it's been like a 3-game lose.
49ers, okay. And I know they lost to
49ers,
the Jets,
Cowboys, and now
Cowboys, yes.
Seattle. No Geno Smith. And Geno Smith, honestly, this year isn't even that good. No Geno Smith. And you let Jackson Smith-Njigba cook you. I mean, the kid is good. But you're the Eagles. You are supposed to be the best team in this league. You're supposed to be the pillar of this league. You have your quarterback in top 3 quarterback in the league, I might even say. You have a top 5 receiver in. You have your God squad in, as people would call it. And you lose. You lose to Drew Lock and Jackson Smith-Njigba and the Seahawks, who are injured.
The Seahawks haven't named a starting quarterback until 10 minutes prior to kickoff.
It's unacceptable. Unacceptable on Nick Sirianni's part. He can cry me a river like he did in the Super Bowl. But it's just unacceptable. Not a good game plan. Not a good game by the Eagles. The Seahawks executed great. I'll give them their flowers. They did great to stay in the playoff race. But Eagles got to do better, man. That was a terrible sighting.
No, I agree. But Seattle snaps a 4-game skid. And the Eagles, we all know that Nick Sirianni switches to Matt Patricia to call the defensive plays.
Did he really?
Yeah.
That's a joke.
So moving on, we had a Saturday triple header for the first time this season.
That was exciting.
Yeah. The Cincinnati Bengals get an overtime victory against the Vikings. The Vikings were not going with Josh Dobbs this week. They didn't even go with him as their backup quarterback. He was the emergency quarterback for the Minnesota Vikings.
The reign of Dobbs is over. It's sad to see, but but Nick Mullins actually played really well from what I expected from him. You know, they almost won that game, and my God, if I started Jordan Addison fantasy, I would have won and made it to the second round of the championship of the playoffs. But, you know, 1 week he decides to do good. No, but Mullins, in all seriousness, Mullins played good. The running back fill-in Chandler played great. And that Vikings team did well. But Jake Browning is just something else, man. Jake Browning is amazing. For what he is and for what they have him for as a backup, he's came in, he's done his job, he's won them football games. We can see the Bengals in the playoffs with Jake Browning, which is a ridiculous thing to say.
Instead of Joe Burr now, it's now Jake Burr in Cincinnati.
We're not going that far.
Okay. Yeah.
But Jake Browning's done really well. And
I agree.
I'll give him his flowers. He's done great. You might say he has best receiving core in football. I don't care. You don't expect to just come in and do what he's doing.
But and then the next game, the Steelers lose again to the Colts, and then the Broncos get blown out by the Detroit Lions in a game which I thought the Broncos could have actually won.
I still don't know how the Steelers are considered a playoff team by people. I mean, Pickett wasn't even good. Now you have Trubisky in. You're losing games to, who did they lose to?
Steelers.
They lost to the Colts.
Cardinals.
With Gardner Minshew.
Cardinals a few weeks ago.
Yeah, Cardinals. This is unacceptable football. They lost to the Patriots too. I mean, you're losing to bottom teams in this league.
I agree. The Steelers have already announced that Mason Rudolph will be the starting quarterback for next week. Oh,
Jesus Christ. All right.
So,
do they play the Browns anytime soon? I don't think so.
I don't think they do. I think they played them twice already.
All right, thank God.
But they have the Ravens Week 18, which could decide their playoff fate.
Yeah, they are not making the playoffs. No. And the Broncos are a great team. I'll give them their flowers. But Detroit has something to prove. Detroit, they've looked lackluster in some games this year that they absolutely shouldn't have. They're coming for everything now. They're going to the Super Bowl, or they're going for a run to the Super Bowl. I don't think they'll make it. I think they can get far in the playoffs, though, and that's what matters. The progress is what matters to them. So they played a great game. Broncos played badly. They executed on it. And I think we'll see both teams in the playoffs.
Lions have their first 10-win season since 2014, 9 years ago.
That's awesome. That's awesome stuff.
I'm glad to see that because the Lions fans have been through misery for so long now.
Absolutely. And they finally have their coach. Their quarterback isn't even doing that bad. They finally have the team they've always wanted, and I couldn't be happier for them, man.
I agree. So the Buffalo Bills on Sunday, we go to 24 hours later. The Buffalo Bills get a win at home against the Dallas Cowboys. But everyone thought that the Cowboys could win, but I took the Bills for my picks.
Well, some people would call you smart. Some people would call you delusional. I personally won't say anything on the matter. Cowboys just got outplayed, man. Genuinely. Mm-hmm. Allen didn't even have to throw 100 yards. James Cook, best game of his career by far. Bills just... Cowboys all year, great team. You think they have no flaws, right? Their biggest flaw, their run defense. Their run defense is horrible. And it got so exposed today, and now teams are going to be taking advantage of that constantly. And this could really take down the Cowboys season if teams get note of this and are actually able to capitalize on it. But Bills played a great game. I won't deny that. No one will. Cowboys need to regroup. They need to get their stuff together. Cowboys, nonetheless, still a team that's going to win that division probably. Still a team, obviously, shooting for the playoffs now. They just clinched. And, yeah, I mean, just great stuff from Buffalo.
So do you think now that the Cowboys could win the NFC East, of course, with that Philadelphia loss on Monday night to Seattle?
It's not an if, it's a will. The Eagles are playing like crap. Excuse my language. The last 3 weeks. Cowboys have one bad week. I mean, it's nothing to really pout over. Just get back to work. Get back to what you've been doing all year. And it'll succeed. It'll do you good. I think the Cowboys will win out. I think they'll win the division easily.
I agree. Like the Cowboys, they're playing good, but with that performance last night, they just fell off.
Absolutely.
Would you say?
Absolutely fell off.
Yeah.
Yeah. They'll come back, though. There's no need to worry.
So now we move to the AFC South, the division. 3 teams are in the lead at 8-6. The Houston Texans, the Jacksonville Jaguars, and the Indianapolis Colts came out of nowhere in the AFC South.
You can call me crazy. I think the Jaguars are now winning this division. I don't even know if they'll make the playoffs, honestly. They look so bad in that loss to Baltimore, so weak, so dead inside. I think, call me crazy, I think the Texans are winning that division. Stroud will come back next week, hopefully, from that concussion. I think they have a chance to go 2-1 or win out. The Colts, honestly, I wouldn't count them out yet. They have Minshew, obviously. If they had Richardson, I'd say they'd win the division. But they're a good football team. And people forgot that last year because of how badly they played. But all they needed was a quarterback to truly show how good they are. And they're even doing it with Minshew. They built such a good system. They can do this with Minshew. I think Shane Steichen has done such a great job there. Speaking of new head coaches, D'Amico Ryan's obviously doing great work over there. This is a really fun division to watch now. You remember last year, this division was the laughingstock of the league. Mm-hmm. So this is a great division to watch, and I'm having a lot of fun watching it. I hope you are too. And it's going to be a heck of the last 3 weeks to find out who wins this.
I think you speak for every NFL fan here. I think everyone loves to watch the AFC South division heat up. And not only that, they're all 8-6. It's not like they're 5-10 fighting for a division spot.
Obviously, besides the Titans, because the Titans don't know how to run a football team. But
that's a little harsh, the way you put it.
Yeah, I mean, Levis is getting good, but at the end of the day, you need to have a good roster to be good. They just don't have that good roster. They have a good offense. They have a horrible defense. They have a decent quarterback. That just doesn't add up at the end of the day to a playoff team. So I'll leave that on that. They are better than the NFC South by far. And, yeah, it's such a great division to watch.
I agree. All right, it's time for our game of the week. So for my pick, I'm going to take the Houston Texans defeat the Tennessee Titans in overtime to win. So what is your game?
So, had to think about this long and hard. My game of the week is going to be the Cleveland Browns taking down the Chicago Bears. Last second Hail Mary obviously bounces out of Darnell Mooney's hands, gets picked off.
I can't believe that happened. Like, it's easier to catch that ball than to drop it.
Yeah. I've been saying this to everyone all year. The Browns are a playoff team, easily. I mean, the Browns, everyone forgot, like, same with the Colts. Everyone forgot last year they were such a good system team because, frankly, they did bad one year, and everyone got so dramatic about it. But Browns have one of the best systems besides the Niners that I've seen in this league. I mean, amazing defense, a very usable offense. By the way, David Njoku, most underrated tight end in the league, easily. He did amazing. But they honestly just need a quarterback to run this, and Flacco isn't doing a terrible job. It might not get them far in the playoffs, but they are a shoo-in to make the playoffs at this point. The Bears, I don't know what's going on with the Bears, honestly. You know, they come into the year, we're going to make the playoffs, 11-6, 12-5. You're 5-9. At this point, just give up the season. I get the NFC is very uncompetitive, but they're just not a good football team. And frankly, they're not good enough to make it to the playoffs. They will get killed if they go to the playoffs. They will get the 7 seed. They'll face the 2 seed. Who will the 2 seed be at that point? Probably
Cowboys or Eagles?
Cowboys or San Fran. Or the Eagles. One of those 3 teams. Probably one from the NFC East. They will get killed. They will lose 50-0 if they play the Cowboys. If they play the Eagles, they will get totally outcoached, outplayed all game. It might not be a big score, but they will get completely outplayed, out of their shoes. So the Bears have really no direction other than to tank. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah, I mean, well, the Bears have the first overall pick still from Carolina.
Yeah.
But honestly, I don't think that Justin Fields is the problem. But
yeah, he's not the problem. The problem is the fact that they don't have a good coaching staff.
I agree. Well, unfortunately, we are out of time for the NFL today. But when we come back, the person to my right over here and Matt will go over what happened in college football. So stay right here.
Another quiet week of college football. Let's face it, the worst part of the playoffs is all the meaningless bowl games. No, what game are you looking forward to?
You know, so I'm actually looking very forward to Miami versus Rutgers in the Pinstripe Bowl at Yankee Stadium. I'm actually lucky enough to get the opportunity to go to it in person, so I'm going to be there the day they play. And honestly, it's going to be a great atmosphere. I'm just hoping for a good game from both sides and hoping that both teams are able to succeed in their own ways. Obviously, I'm pulling for Rutgers to win, but it should be a fun one.
Personally, I'm interested in Northwestern Utah. Not enough is said about Northwestern recovering from their tough off-season. Going 7-5 and playing in a bowl game is huge. Elsewhere, Kyle McCord is transferring to Syracuse. The former 5-star recruit is joining from Brown in the Syracuse rebuild. What transfer caught your eye, Noah?
I did not know that McCord went to Syracuse. You are the first person to tell me that. That might be the worst choice he could have made. That is horrible. With a talent like him, going from one of the top teams in the nation to a basketball school, you could argue, not good. Not a good look for him. Personally, I think it really tarnishes his brand as a player and as a businessman. But nonetheless, the transfers that caught my eye, I think still that Dylan Gabriel to Oregon's on the top of that list. I mean, the kid is just so talented, went to such a great team, and it really gives them a fighting chance to go to the national championship next year. I know this year they obviously got stumped by Washington. When you look at it, Washington is losing their quarterback, Penix, O'Dunsey, their wide receiver 1, and a bunch of other players too, but those are just the 2 key impactors of that team. But they have a real chance. They're moving to, I think, the Big Ten next year with Washington and a couple other Pac-12 teams. So I think they could have a legitimate chance of winning that division or going right behind Michigan and maybe Ohio State. But nonetheless, I think that's just a great move. And I think that personally, Kyle McCord going there wasn't a very good choice for him. It might be good because he'll do better in a more quiet division, but he doesn't have the weapons that he could have had.
Well, that's it for this week, but don't go anywhere because when we come back, Noah and Rocco will be talking about wrestling.
Hello, and welcome to this wrestling segment of Top of the Line. As always, I'm Noah Mahler.
Rocco Coppola, along with you.
And today we'll take a look into what happened in the wrestling world this past week. So without further ado, let's get ready to rumble. So Rocco, on SmackDown this week in Wisconsin, we had Roman Reigns, our tribal chief, coming back for the first time since Crown Jewel, I think. And
Probably, yeah.
Yeah. And honestly, it elevated the show a little bit. It wasn't as effective as the episode where you had to start down with Cody, obviously. Still a great show, in my opinion. Still had a good impact. And overall, we'll get into what happened at the end of the show that shocked everyone. But I think it was a great appearance. What did you think of it?
Roman will be Roman, and he is the GOAT. Roman Reigns, oh my goodness. I love seeing him come back every time. It's become a bit of a meme at this point, similar when Tony Khan has to make an announcement. But Roman Reigns, whenever he returns, it's become a meme. Oh, Roman Reigns returns. 2 months later, Roman Reigns returns. But it's special when he returns. As Gunther was saying not too long ago, he's earned that right to not show up every week because he's that good. That's what Roman Reigns does. He's the best in the world right now. He's been the best for the last 3, and he's just that awesome of a champion. He's not obligated to defend every week. He doesn't need to. There's no point. Roman's he's reached Undertaker undefeated streak of WrestleMania status with this championship reign, and that's best for business right now. And you better believe whoever dethrones Roman at WrestleMania, it might still be Cody, could be LA Knight, I don't know, probably Cody. But whoever does it is going to get a massive, massive push to Stardom.
100%. I mean, this is going to be...
Even though Cody's already at Stardom, but you get the idea.
This is going to be a push to Hall of Fame status. If it's Cody, then locks him into the Hall of Fame because he's already has that status. He just needs the time to go with it.
And we're probably going to see Randy versus Roman at the Rumble. That's my guess. And I feel like that's going to be really beneficial for the company in ratings because the Viper, the Tribal Chief, you can't really get much better than that if we're talking about a pre-WrestleMania pay-per-view to kick off the road to WrestleMania, and that's awesome. It's best for business. And it's going to get the fans watching, especially because pay-per-views on Saturdays now, which has been like that for the last 3 years, don't get me wrong, but Roman Reigns, so good. So good. Still awesome on the mic, too.
Man, hearing you say WrestleMania makes me so excited. We're only 4 months away, Rocco. 4 months away from the biggest wrestling show ever.
The biggest show ever.
The biggest show ever.
Period.
Yeah.
Period. No. I don't want to hear nothing about the Super Bowl. I don't want to hear nothing about the World Series or the Stanley Cup, the NBA Finals. In this country, at the very least, WrestleMania is the granddaddy of them all.
100%.
We'll get there in a few months, though, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah. All right, Rocco, moving on here. We had a debut on SmackDown.
Mello is him.
I was going to say something, but okay. You got straight to the point.
Nothing but net, baby.
Carmelo Hayes, the former NXT champion, going head-to-head with Grayson Waller in the U.S. title tournament. And he gets the big win against Grayson Waller. I think no matter what, no matter how long both these competitors go in WWE, they will always have fantastic chemistry, Waller and Hayes.
Hayes is a future star. I feel like this is just really the start. I don't think he's going back to NXT. I think this is a call-up. And I feel like Carmelo Hayes brings a lot to the table. I think SmackDown's the perfect brand for him, especially because there's a few other people that are going to get called up soon. Braun Breaker's likely going to get called up soon. I don't know when Ilya Dragunov is going to get called up, but it's probably going to be sometime in the future. Carmelo Hayes now has an opportunity in front of him. I feel like he's going to take it. And I really think, excuse my language, I think Melo's going to win this tournament.
Yeah.
I feel like it's setting up for him to win. And I know Kevin Owens is really good, but Carmelo, there's just something about him, man. There's something about the way that he moves in the ring. There's something about his charisma, his theme song. He's got the look. I would make him a future world champion in a few years from now.
Yeah, I would too, 100%.
I'd consider it, dude.
He and Breaker are going to be the two faces of this company, and I would not be opposed to a Melo match at Royal Rumble.
Melo should be in the Rumble at the very least.
Yeah.
Melo versus Logan Paul. You look at what that type of matchup could bring. That's going to be high flying. It's going to be entertaining. They have good chemistry. You could just feel it. They've never worked before, but the chemistry in the ring, you just know it's there.
Yeah. All right, so SmackDown, we were going to talk about it. Final segment, SmackDown. We get the phenomenal one, AJ Styles back. You know, has been a long-time face at this point. Has been a face through WrestleMania 39, through a bunch of time. Comes back immediately, turns heel, attacks LA Knight. It's very justified, honestly. I get he has beef with the Bloodline. LA Knight took his spotlight completely. He got hurt. LA Knight went right in, got his world title match that AJ should have gotten. This is justified completely, and I love it. I love seeing AJ back. He is absolutely beefed up. I mean, the guy is buff. He looks great. Best shape of his life, probably.
He must have been working out with Randy Orton, if I'm guessing, even though probably not. But all seriousness, though, how many times is AJ Styles going to turn heel, dude? Heel, face, doesn't matter. He's not in the world title picture anymore. He's still phenomenal, no pun intended. But AJ Styles has not been in the world title picture for quite some time now, and I'm not counting the world title match. Like, how many face turns are you going to do? How many heel turns are you going to do? You want AJ Styles to still be a top guy in the company. You push him like a top guy in the company. But here's where the good stuff happens. This heel turn, it's bringing him back of those TNA days that he had a few years ago. What am I saying, a few years ago? Over 10 years ago, because he was in TNA at the time. But AJ Styles has an opportunity now. There's something in front of him. Have a feud to LA Knight. Do good. Make LA Knight even a bigger megastar than he already is. And there's something with this that you could just feel. It's like sparkling in the air. I feel like this is going to be a good feud heading into the Rumble, and I think both men are going to really deliver. Because, you know, AJ Styles is Mr. Royal Rumble to me. He always delivers banger after banger after banger every year, and that's what makes him so good. He's a future Hall of Famer in this company easily. I don't care what nobody says. 2-time world champion, couple-time United States champion, I'll take it. He's a future Hall of Famer. LA Knight is the future megastar, and this is going to be perfect. I love where this is going. I want to see more of it. AJ Styles, bravo. Bravo. Way to execute that heel turn.
That was awesome. And hopefully AJ gets short hair again. I don't really like the soccer mom style. I think if he wants to go back full TNA, shave the beard, go short hair, go full TNA.
I feel like he's been growing out that hair forever.
He should cut it. It's getting to the point where it looks ridiculous. He looks like a soccer mom.
He been looking like a soccer mom.
All right, moving on here. We had Damage Control obviously have a segment on SmackDown. You know, obviously with the Charlotte Flair injury, hope she's doing better. She's going to be out for a year, torn ACL, but hope speedy recovery, obviously. But Damage Control is going to take a new direction here going to WrestleMania. So obviously Io has the singles title. They're bringing back probably one of my favorite women's tag teams ever, the Kabuki Warriors, going for the tag titles. I hope they can revitalize the tag division with the Witches because those are two very good tag teams that should have many future bangers. And Bayley taking the direction, entering the Royal Rumble, and going after Rhea Ripley's title. This could be what it is, and they have all the gold by the end of WrestleMania. Or this could be a complete swerve. Bayley wins the Royal Rumble, and then just randomly turns on Io, and goes against her at WrestleMania. And it could be what we all thought it was. I personally think it's a swerve.
I don't like Bayley that much, dude. If we turn her face, it's a different story. But there's something about Bayley that I just can't seem to grasp or like anymore. I don't like her heel character. I think she's good at it, but it's not working anymore. I want her to do something different. And as for the Kabuki Warriors, I'm glad they're coming back. There was no reason for them to break up in the first place. Well, Kairi Sane left the company. But so the Kabuki Warriors, there's something about them now that needs to really change this tag team division. The women's tag titles have become irrelevant ever since WrestleMania 35, the night that the Iconics won it. And heck, the Iconics are actually a pretty good tag team. So the Kabuki Warriors now, Asuka, Kairi Sane, everybody knows them. Two very talented women in the ring. And as for Charlotte Flair, hope that she gets better. But this is a new opening. And like I said before, come Royal Rumble, I think it's going to be Liv Morgan who wins it. But we're not talking about Liv Morgan. We'll touch on her in a couple of months from now. But Bayley, I don't want Bayley to win the Rumble. I don't think that she deserves it just yet. If you're going to have her go after the title, have her win the Elimination Chamber. No need to make her win the Rumble. Give it to somebody else who deserves it.
Just please, for the love of God, do not have Bianca Belair be in a title match at WrestleMania.
I wouldn't be opposed to it. Bianca's very good.
She's very good, but she's always in a title match, and I do not want another reign of terror until I'd say at least Money in the Bank next year.
Yeah, but here's where it's different. Bianca Belair is arguably a top 5 women's wrestler in the world right now, and it's always good when she's champion because there's a champion vibe to her. Right now, you're not getting that champion vibe from Io Sky, and I think Io Sky is going to be really good, and she's only going to get better. It's her first reign, so I won't really kill her that much. Rhea Ripley, though, you see it's different. She's a heel, but she could take care of her own business. Io Sky is more of a cowardly heel right now, and Rhea gives you that champion vibe. But Bianca gives you a bigger champion vibe, really, than anybody. Charlotte Flair gives a bigger champion vibe, even though I don't want her winning the title again, which I guess that's not going to happen for some time now. But now I think it's just get it right, guys.
Yeah. So, Rocco, this is going to be our last segment, our last show of Wrestling on Top of the Line of the year of 2023. You know, what a great year it's been. All of wrestling,
my goodness.
just in general, just
The best.
great year. Looking forward now, we have 3 big PLEs until we get to the new calendar of WWE in 2024. We have the Royal Rumble in Tampa. We have the Elimination Chamber in Perth. And we have WrestleMania nights 1 and 2 in Philadelphia. This could be a great big stretch. I think this is going to be a better year than this past year was. It's hard to top.
And this is a high bar that we're setting.
There's so many good international shows we're getting next year. Like, we're getting Backlash in France. We're getting The Bash in Berlin.
I can't wait for that one.
We might even get WrestleMania in London. I mean,
I'd love for that.
we're really stretching the international market here, and I think the sky is the limit for WWE. I think we're going nuclear this year.
The sky is... That's a low bar if we're talking... The sky... We're talking limits that are unreachable for any sports league in the world with this year. Triple H is the right guy to do this, and I feel like, but now, 2022 to 2023 was a crazy, weird era. And here's where it gets even better. This 2024, this Royal Rumble is going to be phenomenal. WrestleMania, phenomenal. Elimination Chamber will be good. It's really lining up to be arguably a top 5 year of all time. But here's the thing. CM Punk's back. That doesn't still feel real, but it's happening. So wake up, ladies and gentlemen. CM Punk, Seth Rollins, that's going to be awesome. The women's feuds are going to be awesome. Everything's going to be awesome. I can't wait. And as we close out for our last show of the year, well, we'll have one more topic, ladies and gentlemen, so stay tuned. As we close out, this has been a fun year. I can't wait for 2024 because we're only going to get better, bigger, and a lot more fun.
Absolutely. Exactly what you said. Word for word, bar for bar. That is exactly what I'm thinking.
Yes. And now before we close out, I think it's really a good idea if we talk about our wrestlers and our match of the year. I feel like it's appropriate here, and I think it's well deserved.
100%.
So, Noah, why don't we start with you? Who's your wrestler of the year? What's your match of the year?
My wrestler of the year. You know, I've thought long and hard about this. This is a tough choice because there have been so many great wrestlers, so many guys who have been elevated. There's been Dominic Mysterio. There's been Cody Rhodes. There's been Seth Rollins. But I don't think anyone tops what Gunther has done this year. Gunther has elevated that Intercontinental title to new heights. The greatest Intercontinental champion of all time. I don't care about The Miz. I don't care about Chris Jericho.
He's the greatest champion in Intercontinental Championship.
He's the greatest
ever.
Undisputed. And I think this just adds so much to his legacy, and he hasn't even held a world title.
Listen, he's gonna lose the title soon, just because he can't travel outside of the country for reasons I don't know why, so I can't speak for him. But Gunther is definitely a good pick for Wrestler of the Year.
100%. Who do you have for Wrestler of the Year?
Wrestler of the Year? Ooh, this one is tough. To me, I brought it down to 3 wrestlers: Cody Rhodes, Roman Reigns, and Maxwell Jacob Friedman. Right now, my wrestler of the year, you already know who I'm going to go with.
Don't go Roman Reigns.
Don't go Roman Reigns. My wrestler of the year is Roman Reigns. Still the guy in the world, still the best wrestler in the world, still the best heel, still the best everything, still got the best faction. Roman Reigns is wrestler of the year for me, followed by Cody, and then followed by MJF.
He barely even wrestled, Rocco. We're talking about a wrestler, not a promo of the year.
Yeah, but he's
not
Roman
a mouthpiece
Reigns.
of the year.
But he's Roman Reigns. That's the thing.
Rocco, he has had like 7 matches all year.
He's Roman Reigns, my guy.
He's had 7 matches all year.
He's Roman Reigns. Now, I think we both got good picks, but now we should probably wrap up matches of the year. Shoot.
See, this is tougher for me because there's so many things that go into having a great match. I'm between two. I'm between Bad Bunny and Damian Priest at Backlash and the Usos versus Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens at WrestleMania. I'm going to go with the tag match at WrestleMania because although the wrestling in the ring probably better at the Backlash match, I'll be honest, the in-ring storytelling was so much better at WrestleMania. I mean, Sami Zayn,
Perfect.
so much,
Chef's kiss.
so much story to unpack there with the bloodline. Kevin Owens too, his ongoing matches with Roman Reigns while Sami Zayn was in the bloodline, and just that duo coming together, winning a title for I think the first time as tag team. Just phenomenal storytelling, phenomenal match, phenomenal in ring. You even had the 1D be unprotected, and that was just such a special moment to see them win that finally.
That was a feel-good moment, and that was also my top 3 matches of the year. However, I did put 2 of them ahead. For my second match of the year, this is my runner-up. I had Cody Rhodes versus Roman Reigns. But my match of the year, I think unequivocally, this was in your top 3, or at least had to be the runner-up. The triple threat match of the Intercontinental Championship at WrestleMania.
That was my third.
Drew, Gunther, and Sheamus. That was awesome. So fun to watch. Not much to go into aside from it was just a perfect, fast-paced match. So a good way to open up night 2.
I think that was Big E's favorite match too.
No kidding.
Yeah, but that was definitely my third. I mean, the 2 other matches I like better. So what? That match was phenomenal. Phenomenal triple threat. 3 phenomenal athletes going at it. I don't care how old Sheamus is.
You
he
could
put on a hell of a
you could
match.
argue that was a 5-star match.
100% you could argue
That's
that.
a top 100 match of WrestleMania history all
Yeah,
time. Easy.
100%. It's going to do it for us in the wrestling world and cut off this year for everyone in the wrestling world. And Rocco, it's been a great one.
Yeah.
Can't wait for this upcoming year.
Me too. I'm only gonna see you for not 2 weeks.
Yeah, 100%. Andrew and Marco will be going up next to talk about the Premier League on Top of the Line.
Hello, I'm Marco Baldino,
And I am Andrew Mirzaaghasi.
and we'll be covering this week's games in the Premier League.
So we're in week 17, and to start off, we would have Liverpool versus Man United 0-0. So this game was scoreless.
And Liverpool had 34 shots this game, and I think only 8 on goal, but somehow none of them in the net. I feel like most of the game they're on the attack, almost the whole game.
I mean, it's unbelievable that Liverpool didn't score out of any of the other teams, Man United. Because I was expecting Liverpool to actually win this game.
Yeah, but this is good for Man United to shut out Liverpool at Anfield, and this is the first time Liverpool has gotten shut out this season, so it's good for Man United.
I mean, in that case, even with a red card at the end, it really didn't do anything.
Yeah, I mean, it was a dumb red card, but yeah, it didn't really do much.
It really didn't do that much at all.
And now we go to Manchester City versus Crystal Palace, 2-2 and a draw.
Oh, I
What do you have to say?
would want to rant for this game just because we were 2 goals already. That's already fantastic. Around the 70th minute, they score. Okay, 2-1. Maybe Man City has a chance. Then they call a penalty around the 95th minute, I think, and then they scored it. 2-2. I felt like they could have won, but no, they tied again.
They definitely could have won. And Crystal Palace only had 2 shots on goal that whole game. So Ederson had a 0 save percentage.
That's awful. That is really awful. I really hope that Man City can pick up again because this isn't gonna roll. Especially we're still in 4th.
I'm just saying, you guys are really lost without De Bruyne.
Yeah.
He plays such a big factor in your team and such a big factor with Haaland scoring a bunch of goals. But without him, you guys struggle.
Yeah, we definitely struggle, especially with the late league games that we have been playing. Just tie again. Even the
Exactly.
loss with Aston Villa.
Exactly. And now we go Chelsea versus Sheffield United. Thankfully, they won. I'm so glad they won because it would have been really bad if they lost this game. But 2 goals, both checked by VAR, but obviously those are 2 goals and got the good win right there.
Yeah, you guys got lucky, especially when they were being investigated by VAR, ruling offsides twice. You got especially lucky because of that, and I'll say that. And at least you guys got a victory out of Sheffield United, but you still lost to Everton.
Yeah, but that was not a lucky win. That was not a lucky win against Sheffield. All class.
We'll see all class offsides twice and ruled. What's it called? And the goal was still ruled in.
Yeah, and Chelsea could have had a 3rd goal if Broja score that simple tap in, but it's all right.
I mean, you won.
Yeah, so I'm still happy with that. And now we go to Nottingham Forest versus Tottenham.
Tottenham has finally gained their confidence again. They have finally won against Nottingham Forest. Even with a man down, they were still able to keep this lead. Is it possible, because of this game, they are technically 1 point behind of Man City? Is it possible they could surpass them? Probably.
I see it happening. I think Tottenham could pass.
At this
Man
point,
City.
yeah, because they're gaining their confidence back after like losing, then they tied. I feel like they could probably surpass Man City, sadly.
Well, have confidence in your team.
I am trying to
have
have confidence,
confidence.
but the past few games have been just ties and a loss.
Well, let's see when Holland comes back, because he was currently out for a little. He's out right now, but we'll see when he comes back. Hopefully, he could bring your team back up.
Hopefully, we'll see.
Just saying, you guys don't have De Bruyne, so it's hard for you guys.
We'll see if Holland comes back. So, for standings, for first place, we will have Arsenal with 39 points. In second place, we have Liverpool with 38 points. In third place, Aston Villa at 38 points. But because they're in third, they're different in goals. So that's why they're in third. Fourth place, we have Man City with 34 points. And like I talked about, Tottenham in fifth place with only 33 points.
Arsenal is first right now.
Yeah, Arsenal is in first, and most definitely.
I think Aston Villa could pass Liverpool. Maybe even reach first place. You don't know, because like they've been pretty good this season. They might reach first place
I mean, it is possible.
at some point in the season. I feel like maybe not towards the end and win it, but like I feel like at some point they could reach first place.
Well, Aston Villa basically, as we talked about like past episodes, they could cause, let's just say, a little bit of a riot just because they would end up winning by like at least one goal, and then the other team barely doesn't do anything, so it just ends up being a victory for Aston Villa. So anything can happen.
Anything can happen. Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks for watching. Tune in next week for a recap of NFL and college football games, results of SmackDown and Monday Night Raw from WWE, and continuing coverage of the Premier League. All of this and more on the next episode of Top of the Line.